everyone, Saki here and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I wanted to talk to you guys all about a certain topic, and that is my luxury fears. So what I actually mean by this is my fears that I have while luxury shopping, and I think this topic has kind of been on my mind because I am planning a little luxury shopping trip, but I am a little bit afraid of a couple of different things, and I really just wanted to throw this video out there in case you are like maybe a beginning luxury shopper and there are some things that you're afraid of. I want to let you know that you're not alone. I've been shopping for luxury for quite a bit now, not for a super long time by any means, but I still do feel a lot of fears. Some I've gotten over and some I haven't gotten over, so we will talk about that all today, and maybe we can connect a little bit and share some of our experiences together. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel because I do make videos all about luxury every single week. Alright, the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and I think this is the number one thing that people are afraid of, is not looking the part. So what I mean is, obviously when you go into a luxury store, you're looking at a bunch of really nice things, and I think a lot of people are afraid that they don't look nice enough to be in that store, if that makes sense. I know I used to get this a lot. Like every time I walked into Louis Vuitton, I really wanted to make sure that I was dressed like to the nines basically, so that they would give me attention or they felt like I belonged there. And honestly, this is something I've definitely gotten over because I feel like I kind of dress a little bit different in general, and I don't really want to have to feel like I have to dress a certain way to be in a certain store. And especially because now I've gotten kind of used to just running to Chanel to talk to my essay like on lunch break or something. I'm not dressed like super nicely, and I think it's also because I've gotten to know some of the essays in some of the luxury stores near me that I don't feel super uncomfortable anymore. And honestly, I was talking to one of my essays at Chanel, and she has told me a lot of different stories about the people who go there and how they actively try not to judge people based on their appearance. I remember a specific story that she told me about a customer who wasn't wearing like the nicest clothes, and plus they carried their money in a paper bag, and yet they still bought something. They were super polite and nothing was wrong. So although I do feel like some of the people probably do judge you based off your clothes, others totally don't care what you're wearing and try not to judge you based on your appearance. So I really don't feel like you should worry about this. The number one thing to remember, what is more important than how you look, is just being polite and not being like rude or anything. I've definitely gotten over that, and I really encourage you to not overthink that too much when you're shopping for luxury. Alright, the second thing that I'm probably the most afraid of when it comes to luxury shopping is the video and picture policy that stores have. But I do really like to take pictures and vlog, obviously, when I'm shopping, so that I have a little bit more content for YouTube and Instagram. However, I have noticed that this does vary from store to store, and the best thing that I can say to combat this is just ask. So I do feel more comfortable if I'm with somebody, like my mom for example, because I can ask her to try on some of the things that I want to take pictures or videos of, and I always ask the person that we're working with, like, hey, is it okay to take a picture of my mom or take a video of her? Because if we don't decide on the item now, I like to kind of have something to look at later, and that is usually my excuse for taking pictures and videos. Or if you kind of get the vibe that they're okay with it, I would just straight up ask if it's okay to take pictures without having to come up with an excuse. And a lot of the times, if the essay is nice, they'll let you do it. I've even asked a security guard before, and he seemed to really not care about it. Now, the store specifically in mind that I was thinking of with that experience is Louis Vuitton. However, I have heard a lot of people say that like maybe stores like Chanel don't let you take videos even if you ask, but I really do feel like there is no harm in asking. But that is just my experience. I also know that at the Chanel that we have here in Neiman Marcus, they are all really chill, and every time I ask them about photos and stuff, they don't care. So yeah, even though Chanel does have that reputation, it's worth asking just in case. Alright, the next thing that I want to talk about is actually asking about the price of bags. I feel like when I first started shopping for luxury, this really made me nervous because I felt like I needed to be able to like pull off that image of like, oh, not caring about price or not having to worry about price, because I feel like it is assumed when you like buy luxury you have the money for it. Now that's probably just me, but I always was afraid of like asking how much something is because I thought maybe like the sales associate would like judge me for not having money, I guess. Oh, I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid, but that is really how I felt, and that may just be because I'm young and I was afraid of looking like I didn't have money, if that makes sense. But I totally don't think that you should be afraid of this at all if you were in the position that I was. Essays or just normal people, they totally get that it takes a lot of work to earn money, and they understand that most people don't just have a limitless budget and that price is important. I've even gone into stores like Chanel before and asked the price of something and be like, whoa, that is totally totally out of my price range, and I'm not afraid to admit when something is too expensive for me, and people totally get it. So I don't feel like you should ever be afraid of asking or feel afraid or ashamed if something is truly out of your price range. Now you're looking at an item and you've asked about the price, and now maybe you want to get to know the item a little bit more and try some of your things in it. Now I used to be afraid of this because I thought it looked kind of, I guess maybe I was afraid of it looking bad, but I was always afraid to ask if I could take all the items that I had in my purse that I was currently carrying and transfer it into the bag that I'm thinking about buying. Now I truly think that this is an essential part to any bag buying experience. You need to be able to try some of your items in there to see if they will fit and to see if it will be functional for you. I've never heard anybody say no or look at me weird for doing this. So if you have this fear, definitely don't have it, because it is totally normal to want to try the items that you have into the item that you're purchasing. Alright, the next thing that I was kind of afraid of is asking for stuff that's not on display. If you've ever been to a luxury store, you'll know that a lot of the times, actually almost 100% of the times, the things that they have on display is not all of the things that they have. Now I used to be afraid of like asking for like a brand new item that wasn't on display. Maybe I was afraid that they only offered new items to, like, you know, their good clients or VIP clients or whatever. But I've actually learned that if you don't ask for things in the back or ask for a brand new item, they most likely won't give it to you even if they have one in the back. I kind of feel like if you do have a brand new item in the back that's not on display, you should probably offer that to your client or your customer without them having to ask, because obviously everybody would prefer a brand new bag over one that's been touched, but that's definitely not the case, and you definitely do have to ask. And yeah, I was just really afraid to before, but now I just ask because people usually don't care and people generally understand that you do want a new item. The second to last thing that I do want to talk about is actually walking away from an item and saying that you need time to think. Now I know that there is so much pressure while buying an item that sometimes you're afraid to just say, no, I don't want it today, or no, I need time to think about it. And honestly, I do feel like a lot of people do understand this, even though the people working there do want to make a sale. Like I was saying before, they do understand that to get money, it takes a lot of hard work, and most people can't just make like quick decisions. So I do feel like a lot of people are really understanding when you do tell them you have to think a little bit more before making like such a huge purchase. So I'm not really afraid of this anymore, but I do know that it does feel like you're letting somebody down by not buying an item. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but that's how I personally feel. Like, I'm letting them down. They showed me this item. We might have even been talking about it for like 30 minutes to an hour or whatever, but at the end of the day, if it's not right, or if you really do need time to think about it, you really should just be able to say that and walk away without having to feel uncomfortable. So yeah, if you've ever felt this way, just know that I've been there too, and I'm also still working on not feeling afraid of that. Alright, moving on to the thing that scares me to this day the most, and I still can't get over, but I've done a couple of times, and that is returning an item. Obviously, everybody works off of commission when it comes to selling luxury items, so this truly is my #1 fear that I still have to this day. So I've actually only done this a couple of different times in store, and I think I'm still only scared of it when it comes to like an essay that I don't know. If I'm returning something to someone that I talk to regularly and they can understand like where I'm coming from and can understand why like maybe this particular item didn't work out for me, I really don't feel that uncomfortable. But like, okay, I specifically returned like a bag to Louis Vuitton because I just didn't think that it was the right size for me, and I was scared. Like, I was straight up nervous that these people would hate me, that they like wouldn't welcome me back into the store or anything. But yeah, I just kind of sucked it up and got over it because I really did need to return that bag because I knew that it wasn't going to work with my lifestyle. And honestly, they kind of do have those return policies in store for a reason, right? I'm trying to like reason with myself and to calm myself down by like telling myself that it probably happens all the time, and honestly, if something doesn't work out for you, it doesn't work out for you. And I feel like if you explain it to your sales associate, they will probably understand. But yeah, that is still the one thing that still makes me afraid, but I'm trying to get over it. And I know a lot of people do return their items, so you probably shouldn't be afraid of it, even though I still am. Alright, that was all for my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I guess the one thing that I did want you guys to kind of take away from this video is that if you do have any of these fears that I mentioned, it is okay. I had those fears too. I'm sure a lot of people also have these fears, and that the #1 thing that you should know is that it's totally normal to feel these things. And I hope that if there were fears that I mentioned to you in this video, I kind of helped to offer solutions for you, and hopefully we can talk about it in the comment section down below if you have any of these fears or any fears that I didn't mention as well. I just want to kind of start a conversation about these things that we are feeling, and I kind of have a little place to talk about them. So if you found this video helpful or relatable at all, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do upload videos every single week. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!